So this is a coursework project for the Leaving Cert. This particular year is ALT2, which is data analytics, mean mode, all that jazz, and graphs, and also a bit of simulation. So those two. And it's basically like a little a game where you play as a goalkeeper and you have to kind of guess which way the person's going to go and that sort of thing. All right. So given the brief, there's 100 million different things you can do. So I might throw out a few ideas. While, you know, there's loads of things you could do, also the purpose of this is just to show how you would logically go through a Leaving Cert computer science project by looking at the requirements and coding per requirement, especially with a game. I really struggled to stick to the tasks and not add mad stuff just because I wanted to. Right, so we're going to start off with a bit of ASCII art here that I put. You can put ASCII art in here. You see this? Don't do this. I did this because I did all 6 requirements, and then when I was all done, I thought I'd reward myself with a little bit of ASCII art. Drew this myself. You can just Google ASCII art rabbits or whatever you want to do and put it in there. But you know, my point here is I'm going to start off by saying don't do that. None of this animation stuff or anything like that until the end. Let's talk about the basic requirements, and maybe just to show you a quick playthrough of this game. The link will be in the description. I've broken this into kind of 2 sets of 3 requirements. The basic requirements for the first game, and then I'll do another one. I'll bring that up, advanced requirements, modeling, prediction, all that stuff. So let's go. I'm gonna immediately already broke the program. I'm gonna press go, and I'm gonna talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno by pressing B here. How many shots am I going to do? Let's just do 2 shots. All right. So I'm the goalkeeper. Bruno's taking a shot. I'm going to go L. You see the way I don't actually have to type left? That's, I you know, it's nice. And then another one, L. Okay, I've gone left twice. And the big fool actually missed. So actually, he didn't score any goals. Haha. Deadly. So write down my name. My name is Fa. There we go. Final whistle blows. It's all over. Fa points 2. Mr. Robot points 0. There you go. Okay. So that's the computer being Mr. Robot. So that's the single player box ticked. And then if you want to see second player is when I do 2 shots. But this time it says, you know, player 1 goalie, blah, blah, blah. So you see the way it says actually look away from the screen right now? So the striker is going to go, let's go for the middle, M. And you see the way it's cleared all the previous code, because I actually found when I originally did 2-player, it says, where do you want to go left? And you could just read up the left. It's like, well, the goalie just is going left, so I'm going to shoot the other way. That kind of way. So you can use repl.clear if you're on repl to clear things. Which way to dive? Yeah, okay, I'm going to go, pretend I didn't see that and go left. And surprise, surprise, they scored. So same kind of thing again. And there you go. There's a 2-player game, and it comes at full time. You write your names, and there you go. Deadly. And finally, for the computer run through, if I press C for a computer sim, I can, how many shots? I'd like to do 22 shots, 23, because it's going to go pretty fast because I'm not going to have to play. So there you go. Look, it's instantly over. So the final score was 15 to 8. And there you go. And it goes through. All right. So they are the basic requirements, and let's talk about them. I would strongly advise doing what I did here, and to help me stick to things, I copy pasted in a summary. It's not exhaustive, but it's a summary of each of the basic requirements here. So 1, make a game with some randomness. I have that because it chooses when it makes a kick, instead of just going a random choice left, right, wide, or whatever. I can weight it. So yeah, but actually no, but first you don't even have to weight it. It is random. You know, that random would tick the box. Extra bonus that you can adjust the weights, and that's because I can play with that in the simulation. I can put these X, Y, Z, and that could be one of the advanced requirements later on. 3 inputs. So here I have who do you want to shoot against. I have which way does the keeper go, which way does the player go. There, you just make sure there's 3 inputs. Now, watch out, they're validated inputs. Okay, so you have to include some code to say if I'm expecting a number and I type ZZZ, the letter, there has to be some code there to go, oh, no. Try type a number instead, okay? Some kind of validation. And it says for each of the inputs. So just make sure you've got that. And then finally, the 3 modes. So single player, multiplayer, and simulation as was shown. Okay, so before I kind of rewrite this entire code from scratch, I'm just going to show you kind of where they came in. Like most important, I suppose, that how did I do the 2-player and the computer thing? Because I think if you see that, then you'll be able to, do something like that as well. Okay, if you want to do multiple shots, make your game, or multiple rounds. If you're playing tic-tac-toe, if you're doing any kind of game, play it through once. And for a simulation, it's actually handy to be able to play the game like 100 times very quickly. So just get your whole game when you're done and just put it in a for loop. For X in range 5, we'll do it 5 times. I didn't want to say X because it's how many times you shoot, so just remind me that's shots. And max shots, I let the user decide rather than going 5. I could have just hard coded that to 5. The game would run 5 times. But, I'm trying to use 3 inputs, so that's probably a good idea to use that for an input. Then let's talk about the player 2 thing. This code here is player 2. Basically, what I did here is I just added in another little option here so that the player 2 could enter in which way they want to go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This bit in the middle, I should just say, I really hate when I'm playing through these games. Maybe because I have to correct lots and lots of students. I hate having to type long sentences. Please be nice and to your users. If you say type who do you want to play against, and then name some like a Brazilian player from Division 2, someone's not going to spell his name right. So it's a really good idea if they can just go Y-N-A-B, just one letter to play the game. That's really nice. Even having to type right and left, I swear to God, someone will screw it up. So I have done this thing here where I've put in like just L or M to go that way. Then the only problem is then later on when I make comparisons, I'm saying, well, the goalie went L and the striker shot left, so they don't mix up, so they score. And I was like, no, L and left are the same. So I needed to just update that in Python, just go, hey Python, when I say L, I kind of mean left. So you'll see that block I think is kind of twice there. So there's a REPL there where that allows you to use REPL.clear whatever you want. If you want to do that in Thonny, there is another way of doing it by importing the OS, import OS. You can Google clear console Python, you'll find it. Because actually, I went. The problem with this now is when I copy paste my code into Thonny, it doesn't work now because obviously it's not REPL. I wonder can you install this much. Anyway, cool. So that's that part, and then down here where it's like, how did I do the computer choice? Well, if the opponent choice is C for computer here, all I did was, instead of having one little random choice with an input, I don't give them any input, but I just say the keeper choice is this random thing, and the striker choice is also a random thing there, So that's what I did there. All right. And then, you sum up who kicked who kicked in what direction. And there's a comparison part. So it's if you did this, I did this, and then there's this is the processing part of the program, which says, look, if the keeper goes the same way as the shot, that's a save. Or else, like, if they completely miss, if it's wide or over, well, I mean, I suppose the keeper gets a point for just psyching out the striker. And finally, the only possible remaining result is that, you don't go the right way, or they don't get it over, which means they must have scored. So I just said else score. Okay. And finally, I have 3 different kind of little blocks of text for how to display this bit here. Not necessary according to the requirements, to be honest. But I don't know. It just seemed like the game was complete. Kind of to be complete game, it surely kind of has to give a bit of score at the end. Maybe not, but look, I felt it kind of like did. The only thing is, I've it was a bit silly that like you had to write the name, the player name for the computer, and then the computer's friend, also the computer, when it was playing itself. So that, yeah, because what didn't make any sense. So I added this little thing here that just said, look, it'll just say Mr. Robot with the scores, rather than you having to actually enter in the name. And I thought, like, if you've played with 2-player, they might be able to put in their name as well. So I should say at this point that obviously I'm posting this to the YouTube, so don't just copy paste my project or chunks of it, or even like a few lines of it and stick it in your own project as your own work. Okay, I mean, you need to go through the print method. Like, you can take mine, run it, oh yeah, that kind of works, but then you really need to come up with your own variable names. You can use kind of techniques from this, and ideas from this is fine, but like, rather than just me say don't plagiarize, then it's kind of hard to understand, like, how do you use something without using it and copying it. Well, I will just show you, right? Because I'm going to make a new game from a blank file based on the one I've just talked through, but it's not football, it's basketball. And it's significantly, I would say, different enough to be a total different project, but you will see that it just uses the sort of same techniques. So it uses some of the lessons from this, but it is a different game and a different project. It's basketball shooting from different distances rather than different players. Do you know what I mean? So, but you'll see, it's by going through it, it's the same random techniques, and things will be similar. Like, maybe saving stuff to a CSV file will be not much different. Anyway, right, that is for a new video, and you can click somewhere. I don't know how YouTube works. All the directions.